right, so in terms of the material that you're going to need for your Japa Mala, I advise you to have a plier, scissors, one needle or two. You're going to need cord. Here I have 2 meters of cord, one tassel, the beads, 108 beads, okay, and one big bead. That's all you're gonna need to create your Japa Mala. Let's start this first phase of creation of our Japa Malas. This phase that I love actually. So I'm gonna take my cord, my 2 meters cord. I'm gonna open it, and at the edge of my cord, approximately one open hand distant from the end of my cord, I'm going to tie a knot. Okay, just tie a knot, and at the end, on the last phase of the creation of the Japa Mala, you're going to understand why we need this extra cord. Okay, all right, so let's walk our hands all the way to the other side of the cord. And I'm going to take my needle. I need the needle to help me put the beads in. Otherwise, it gets a bit complicated. So I have my 108 beads here. For this Japa Mala, I chose 3 different kinds of gemstones. You can use your creativity to create your own Japa Mala. So I'm going to start putting my beads in. You see, this one was pretty easy to come in, but some beads are harder to go in. That's why we have the plier close by. So in case it gets a bit stuck, you can use the plier to help you. So that's the, see, this one is a bit harder to come in, so I use my plier, and it gets so easy. That's meditative activity. So just enjoy this time for yourself, putting all the beads in. We're going to put all the 108 beads inside the cord on this phase. So we are ready to start the second phase of the creation of your Japa Mala. Now that you have entered all the beads on your cord, we're ready to start tying the knots. So here I have all the 108 beads inside. Since I'm left-handed, I'm gonna move this right edge to my right hand, because it's easier for me on my right hand since I'm right-handed, okay? So I'm gonna just simply start tying the knots. How do we do this? So you have your one bead here, close to the first knot that we tied on the first phase. I'm gonna approach this last bead, this first bead actually, to the knot, and I'm gonna tie a knot. I circle around the bead, you see? And now I'm gonna hold the bead under the cord to make sure I'm having this knot the closest possible to my bead. See, the most important thing on your Japa Mala will be having the knot as close as possible to your bead, you see? And it comes with practice, but you're gonna find your own method, but I'm showing the way I do myself. So now that I have the first knot, I'm gonna move the second bead close to the first knot, and I'm gonna tie another knot after the second bead. So I use these three fingers of my left hand. I circle around my fingers and I pull the cord with the two beads. Because I'm tying the knot after the second bead, I'm going to take hold of the second bead to help me approach, to have this knot as close as possible to the second bead. You see, it gets close and it gets well tight. I'm gonna do a few more knots so you can understand how this is done. So I'm moving the third bead close to the second knot. I use these three fingers of my left hand. I circle around them. I'm just gonna move the beads away so I have more cord. All right, so the three fingers, I circle around them, and I'm gonna pull from the inside. I'm gonna pull my cord. All right, I stay here, and now it's just a matter of having the knot close to the third bead. So I use this finger, my index finger of my right hand, you see, to hold my third bead from the outside. And I use my left hand to pull the cord, you see? And then I use my left thumb to make sure the knot is well tight. You see? That's how we do. That's the most delicate part of creating your Japa Mala. See, again, fourth bead, I need fourth knot. So I'll use my three fingers of my left hand. I'm gonna circle my three fingers. I'll pull the cord under from the bottom, and I'll hold the last bead with my index finger. You see, I hold, and I'm gonna pull the cord with my left hand. You see, I'm pulling with this hand. Now I use my thumb for this very last phase of the knot, and I make sure this knot is as close as possible to the bead. That's how we do. So I'm gonna keep doing this for I'm gonna keep doing 108 knots to make sure I have this same thing on the whole mat, and I'll get back to you afterwards. Okay, so here I'm almost finished tying the last three knots. Using the same method that I showed previously. Last 2 beads, circle around, pull the cord with your finger, with your index finger, hold the last bead and pull with your left hand to have a knot close to the bead. And the last and final bead, we tie the last knot. And with this last knot, we're finished tying the 108 knots of our Japa Mala. We're almost there. Second phase done. So let's start the last phase of the Japa Mala. So we have all the knots, all the beads in. So now we're gonna just tie a knot with the 2 edges of the cord. Okay, I'm just gonna tie 1 knot. To have the 2 edges together, 2 knots. Okay. Make sure your 2 knots are tight. Good. See? Almost done. We're getting there. Now, I'm going to use one of the 2 cords here that I have left. I'm going to use one side and I'm going to insert the needle for the big bead. All right, I put the needle on one side, and I'm going to take my big bead and enter it. See? In one side. Here, we're going to start pulling this edge, holding from the bead. You can hold with your left index finger, and with your right hand, you pull the cord. But at this point, you can remove the needle. And here, we're going to include the ring. This ring is going to it's going to hold the tassel. Okay? So for me to put this ring in, I need to open it. I'm going to use, in this case, I'm going to use 2 pliers just to help me to be easier to open it. I'm going to open it and put it inside the cord and then close. You don't need to close that well because we're going to open it soon to include the tassel. Okay, I have my ring inside the cord now, and I'm going to finish bringing the cord close to my last bead. You see, it's done. Just make sure your bead is really close to the 2 knots that we tied. And at this point, you're going to tie just 1 knot. 1 good knot is enough at this point. Okay, so I'm going to tie 1 good knot. You see, we have our last bead. But we have 2 big cords, so we need to cut them. We're going to cut close to the big bead, and we're going to use a match to burn it and make sure it's not going to get out of the way. So I'm gonna cut close to the knot, just making sure my knot is well tight. Yes, it is. I'm gonna cut it. And I'm gonna avoid moving too much my mala at this point to keep it from losing the knot. Okay, good. Now with your match or the lighter, you can just simply, you see? And when you burn it, that's good. When you burn it, we make sure it's not going anywhere. See? It's ready. Look how nice. This is done. And now we're just gonna open the ring again to insert the tassel. And about the tassel, you can have it long like this, or if you want a short tassel, you just need to cut it with the regular scissors. So I'm gonna use 2 pliers to open my ring. You move one plier towards yourself and the other plier away from you, you know, on this sense. Okay, it's easier. And then you come with your tassel. I'm gonna need to open a bit more because this is a big tassel. Okay, now you come with your tassel. Now it's in. And all I need to do is to properly close my ring. That's it. And we're done. This is our Japa Mala. Isn't it amazing? I hope you enjoyed doing this with me.